Welcome to Year 3. I'm Miss Shaw.
I'm Mrs. Pike.
And I'm Mrs. Stewart. We thought we would start our presentation with what you need to bring to school each day. So we have an example of a packed bag that the children can bring in each day. So first of all, we've got a home reading journal, which is the yellow book. We've got a home learning diary, which I'll come back to in a minute. And we have a home learning journal, which is pink. And reading books, if they need changing. A clean labelled water bottle with fresh water in. A sensible school bag. And a packed lunch, which is also labelled if they're not having hot school dinners. So the home learning diary has got a very useful section at the front and the back. Can you please make sure that you read the first 10 pages of the diary, as well as the final 8 pages. There is also some additional information about COVID this year, so please can you make sure that you go over that as well. We've got a huge homeschool communication section, so if you do have any questions, any queries or any notes that you want to write to your teachers, please can you make sure that you use that in the first instance. And we ask that you to record when you read with your child at home, and if the children are actually able to do this themselves, they can also fill in that home learning diary as well.
Okay, PE days. It's a bit different at the moment than normal. On a week 1, it's PE on a Wednesday, and on a week 2, it's PE on a Thursday. So on those days, children can come to school in their full PE kit. They have to wear school uniform, they're coming in PE kit. We just ask that it's appropriate for the weather at the time, and they have a full change of clothes that will keep them warm and dry for that day. So they have black leggings or joggers or shorts, depending on the weather, appropriate trainers, the purple school PE t-shirt, and a black hoodie or jumper with no obvious logos. Girls, if you've got your ears pierced, either take them out for the day or cover them with micropore tape, which you will need to provide. We are not allowed to do it ourselves. All items need to be labelled. That goes for all school uniform actually, cardigans coming on and off, and anything coming into school. If they have a name on it, it makes our life quite a lot easier. So thank you.
So some of the things that we will be covering over the year in Year 3. At the moment we are learning about Stone Age to Iron Age. After the half term, we will then be looking at Farm to Fork. When it comes to spring term, we will be looking at light and dark, and then we will also be going on to the rainforest. Within the summer term, we will be looking at Romans, and we will also be doing our geography study of China. So I've got lots of really fun things ahead for the year. Oh, just a note on the bottom, sorry. Obviously, due to the circumstances at the moment, we are not doing school trips. As the year progresses and as things potentially change, we hope that perhaps in the spring or summer term we may be able to do a trip, but it will all have to be decided at a later date.
I think that's the same, isn't it, for like masses and Advent and anything coming out for Christmas, all the things we normally do. We'll hopefully find a different way of doing it, but that will all be communicated to you as and when those decisions have been made.
So just thinking about what you can do at home to help your child, really the main thing at the moment is just having a good amount of sleep and rest. We have had a lot of time off, and we need to make sure that we are keeping well rested, because this is new coming back to school and we need to make sure that we are in a good position for learning. Daily reading, so we sent out a letter earlier in the last week which sort of stated how much reading we would expect, how much maths we would expect for a child in Year 3, so please have a look at that letter, let us know if you have not received it. we will also be handing out their Times Table Rockstars logins and their Sumdog logins soon. So watch out for those.
Okay, so reading at home. So the home reading journal is the yellow book that Mrs. Pike showed here. The expectation is that the children will complete a short book review every 2 weeks. They can then bring those into school once they've been signed off by an adult, and that will be checked by either a teacher or an LSA and shared with the children in the class as well. We also then expect daily reading, and again the children can read with you, and you can write in the journal if you've managed to have some time to read with your child, but they can also fill that in themselves. And finally, just lots of encouragement to do around reading at home and making sure that reading shouldn't be a chore, it should be something enjoyed together as much as possible.
Technical issues.
The wrong way. It's got to go the other way. Oh, never rely on technology.
There you
Great.
go.
To help with giving the children a larger variety of books to read to help build their vocabulary, something new that's come in across Key Stage 2 this year is the must-reads for each year group. So we've chosen 6 books. They're challenging texts, so we don't expect the children to necessarily be able to read them alone, but they can be shared with grown-ups, older brothers and sisters, and they can be read in any order. Some of them you'll see, like the Ruthless Romans, they link to our topic later on in the year, so it might be worth reading them just before, so it might help the children with their topic learning or alongside their topic learning. But the expectation is by July 2021, which seems a long way off, those 6 books have been read, and there is a record being made in the school of those books and the children that are reading them. We do have some copies in school that children can borrow. They have copies in the library, they don't necessarily have to be bought. So if you're having a problem accessing any of those books or anything like that, let us know. Something that's not new, but you may have forgotten about, the reading passports. So in year 3, each term, they get 9 or 10 different texts. Now again, this is encouraging them to read a wider range of texts. There's things like specific books like Gangster Granny, there's newspaper article, recipes, ball games, things like that. So exposing them to a different range of genres. This is a competition. This is part of our school kind of encouraging children to read, but it should be a bit of fun as well. Just get your child or yourself to sign it off, give it a star rating, and we'll give them a sticker or a stamp when it's completed. Every child that completes this gets a reward, and then there's an additional prize, 2 per year group, and they'll be drawn from a hat at the end of every term. So this one that you've been sent home will be due in around the middle of December.
Our library slots this year are 30-minute slots where the librarian comes to us and visits us in the classroom, so that we don't have lots of different children all visiting the library and touching the books. So for lines, that is on a Tuesday afternoon, and for hippos, that is on a Wednesday afternoon. The books, once they come back into school, will be quarantined for the 72 hours, and then they will be put back into circulation. So it is absolutely fine to be taking these books home and bringing them back in again, because we are doing everything to make sure that they are safe.
We also, on that note, just make sure that library books, if they need changing, are brought in on your child's library day. But also, if your child's borrowed a bigger book, there's no point taking it out 1 week and bringing it back the next, because the chances are they haven't read the whole book. So it's fine to keep it for 3-4 weeks to get through it. But if you have finished it, please bring them back so other children have the opportunity to borrow it as well.
Okay, so spelling practice at home. So the activities that we will be sending home with your child each week will be related to the rule that we've been learning in school. They will be given at least one activity to help them practice the spelling rule for that week. And this involve learning some words that follow the rule, but more importantly, we're going to be looking at can they apply the rule to unseen words. So words that follow that rule, but they haven't just learned how to spell them. The children will also be given vocabulary work, which is the same as previous years. This will include a list of words, usually no more than 5. They should try and use these words at home as they're talking amongst the family, trying to introduce some of this vocabulary into their spoken language. And they should then have a go at practicing writing these words within sentences. And the hope then is if it's happening at home and at school, it's becoming embedded and will become part of their spoken language and applied in their learning at school.
I think it's also a really good handwriting practice. So we've noticed that quite a few children probably haven't written quite a lot the last few months, and their handwriting may have slipped, their formation of letters may have slipped. So it's a really good opportunity for them to really think about the way they're forming their letters when they're writing those sentences.
The pen licence is on offer.
It is. You might get a pen licence. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is very exciting in these areas.
Just some important dates for your diary. So I will read them out because you might not be able to see them on there. But Friday, 2nd of October is an inset day. Tuesday the 13th of October, we should be having a liturgy. Again, we would recommend that you wait for further instruction as to how that happens. Perhaps it may be this case round, it's just photos that we will then put on the blog to let you know about the liturgy and how it went. 24th and the 25th of November is Parents' Evening. We are still going ahead with Parents' Evening and going ahead with those one-to-one consultations. They will just be spread out around the school and spread out with times. We'll make sure that it is totally safe.
And you'll know all about that through parent mail and email nearer the time.
Yeah, exactly. And again, just keep making sure that you're checking those parent mails and checking in your child's book bags. Lots of letters have gone home over the past couple of weeks, so please just make sure you keep checking, because we're just trying to keep you as up to date as possible. If you need to have a check with your parent mail, make sure you just go through the office. So if you don't feel that you are receiving the emails or anything like that, it's the office staff who deal with all of that, so please just contact them and they will help you out straight away. If your child is being collected by somebody else as a change of pickup, anything like that, again, just please notify the office. They are really good at communicating with us. We all have clipboards where the messages go onto, so we will know immediately at the end of the day who is going home with who. It's really helpful for us to have as much notice as possible if there is a change of pickup.
That's it from us for now. Just a few last little bits. So if you need to communicate with your class, your child's class teacher, the home diary books are brilliant. We might communicate with you via those on the date, so please check them regularly. If you need to write to us to say anything, that's the best place to do it. The other option is if you would like a longer meeting, please set up a telephone consultation through the office and we'll be able to contact you at an agreed time and we can have a chat over the phone. If you're picking up by foot over the next couple of days and leading into next week, etc., things are changing, you will be able to have a quick conversation with the teacher, but ideally via phone or via letter to limit contact as much as possible at the moment. Thank you very much.
Lovely, thank you.